I can like use my professional mic and everything.
So, hey everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching the stream from. Today we have a tech talk. Today with us we have Matthew, and Matthew will be going us through what stCelo is and how you can use or leverage stCelo in your hackathon project to provide extra yield to your users. So, and yes, if you have any doubts, you can use the live chat if you're watching the live stream, and if you're watching a recording, then you can use the comment section. If you're comfortable asking questions in Discord, then you can join the Discord server as well. With that, I will pass it over to Matthew. So, Matthew, please continue with the session.
Perfect. Thanks a lot for the quick intro. So regarding connections, also you can find articles about stCelo, about the protocol, about some things of how detailed aspects of it work, but also who to contact on the Celo forum. So just if you search for stCelo on the Celo forum, there are articles and like my Discord name, my email, and so on. So if you want to contact me directly, you can find the info there. So first of all, like very quick introduction about myself and my background. So I've been a product manager here at Celo or C Labs, working on Celo for the last year. I've worked on different projects, and for the last months, my team, a couple of devs, and me, we've been working on building stCelo. Before Celo, I worked also in the crypto space at MakerDAO and originally did a PhD in computer science. So regarding stCelo, what the plan is here is really for this talk to be useful for you guys if you want to build on Celo. So what I'm going to show is first just like a high-level introduction of what is stCelo, and then show you how the app look like the front end that we have built, so the web app, and then also going over the docs which are available, but just handhold you basically through the docs and the most important parts of the architecture. So this is all basically available for everyone just out in the wild. But then I'm also going to talk real short about our plans of how we want to extend stCelo and basically the V2 that we want to launch. And after that, we're going to have time for Q&A and questions for you guys to ask us. Okay, so the web app. So basically, first, quick intro. What is stCelo? So we all, like, depending on how familiar you are with crypto, you might know liquid staking protocols or not. So basically, what are liquid staking protocols? They allow you to stake your coins of a layer 1 in a proof of stake blockchain, and at the same time keep them liquid, and also make less decisions and less work around how to stake. So most famous example is probably Ethereum, right? With Lido, which is the biggest liquid staking protocol on Ethereum. So there, the liquid staking protocol, well, first, it allows you to keep your Ether liquid, right? If you lock your Ether, you had to wait 1 year plus for the merge for them to become liquid. And even now, right, you have an unwinding period. And the second thing that it enables is it makes it easier to stake, right? In the case of Ethereum, you need to run your own node. And if you go with Lido, you just send your coins there, you get the staking APR, and you don't need to run your own node. So in Celo, it's very similar, right? In Celo, the unstaking period is 3 days. So if you go with stCelo, our liquid staking protocol, you can just trade out of the staked version of Celo into the normal version of Celo within, an instant, and you don't need to wait for the 3 days. That being said, obviously, right, there needs to be a liquid market. If the market is not liquid or it deviates too much from the ratio that you are fine to pay with, then you still need to wait the 3 days. But in principle, under normal conditions, you can directly go out. So liquidity is one big advantage. And the second big advantage is the ease of use. So in Stelo, if you want to stake, you don't need to run your own validator, but you need to select validator groups. So basically, you need to choose who to vote for. And depending on who you vote for, you earn more or you earn less. Like, you need to look at all these validators. If a validator starts to behave badly, you need to change the validator. So you need to know a little bit about the background of how the consensus is reached in the Celo blockchain. All of this is abstracted away with liquid staking staking protocols, and stCelo does that. So with stCelo, you can just do one transaction and then you earn money, basically. So that is the TLDR of how the protocol works. And now I'm going to make a quick demo of the web app so that you can get an idea. So currently you see we have like 475,000 Celos staked in the protocol. So it's about 500,000. And okay, you can connect with basically all the wallets of the Celo ecosystem and also other wallets. I'm using MetaMask. So it's really simple. Well, you can stake or you can unstake the Celos that you have already staked previously. So if you look at staking, you can also use our white theme. So currently in my wallet, I have 8 Celos. So that means I can stake the maximum amount of that 8. You see that now the number is a bit smaller than what is available in my balance. And that is because we want to prevent you from staking all your Celos and then not being able to pay for gas fees afterwards. It's just a UX choice we made. So let me stake one here, and I can see how much APR I am going to earn with this. That's expected. We actually calculate this based on on-chain data. And you can also see here what the exchange rate is. So for one Celo, you receive 0.995 stCelo. That is the staked Celo version. So why do you receive less than one? That's a big question that we always, or that many users ask. So the reason is because basically you have two ways, two choices of how you can implement a staking protocol. So one is you are rebasing, and that means the exchange rate here would be 1. And if I put in one Celo, I receive one staked Celo. And then you need to ask yourself, well, what happens to this 4.5% APR? How do you receive that? Well, you receive that in such a way that just your balance of staked Celo is increasing, right? So let's say you start at the beginning of the year, you stake 100 Celo, then you receive 100 staked Celo, and at the end of the year, you would have 104.51 staked Celos. But this creates some incompatibility with other DeFi protocols. So you guys, as developers, you will love that we have chosen to go with a non-rebasing version. So with the non-rebasing version, also at the very beginning of the protocol, if you put in 100 Celos, you receive 100 staked Celos. But then afterwards, one staked Celo increases in value. So in the beginning, one staked Celo is worth 1 Celo. But then after 1 year, 100 staked Celos are worth 104.51 normal Celos. And so the ratio of if you trade Celo into staked Celo goes down. So it's just about where is this APR going. And here in the non-rebasing version, the balance in your wallet stays the same, but this balance becomes worth more when measured in Celo. Okay, so now we can stake this. Oh yeah, you can even see my MetaMask. I confirm. Boof. Basically costs nothing because gas fees are so low. And we tell people that the unstaking period is then 3 days, right? So that comes from the core staked Celo consensus mechanism. that's just a decision that was made. Okay, how long does it take to unstake Celos? It is actually a live demo, so let's see what is going to happen, if it is actually working. So at the moment I have like 10 staked Celos, and it is still trying to send this transaction. Okay, so it is confirmed actually. So I don't know what the front end is waiting for here. So we said I have 10 in the beginning. Let's just like reload this. Oh, okay, it upgraded. So I don't know why, but somehow it got stuck. But the transaction actually happened. Let's try it again once more. So we are now at 7 and 11. Okay, now it got accepted in the blockchain. Here we go. 3 blocks confirmed. Okay, live demo effect. I don't know why, but usually it should just like give you a success message, obviously. And very similarly, you can also unstake. So let's from these 11 like take 2 out. We need to like reload again. So now we see it got up to 12. So I don't know why it doesn't update itself. So let's unstake 3, and then we should be down to about 9. So I'm again just checking when this will be mined. So it has happened. And we're up a couple of blocks. Okay, and now we just have to wait and see if it recovers here. But while we wait for that, oh, okay, it has actually started. So now I see that some of the Celos are unstaking. So basically, what is happening now is okay. I wanted to unstake 3 Celos, right? And the expected behavior is that 3 Celos are actually unstaking now for 3 days, right? Because the core protocol requires to unstake, like for the unstaking for 3 days to pass. However, now only 1.1 Celo is actually unstaking for 3 days. And you will see that the other Celos are already back in my balance. So if we refresh, so we're down to 9. Oh, okay, now they start appearing. So it happens in waves, because in the background, what happens is that in 8 transactions, all the Celo are actually unstaked. And therefore this number is like going up, and we batch all these 8 transactions together in one, which you can see here. So ultimately we should be up to 3 here. See, now we're there. And so now you can see that in 3 days this will be available here for you back in the normal Celo. And it should take, yeah, in like 3 days, obviously the counter will go down to 2, and at some point it will be hours, etc. Good. That is the most important part. So you've seen the web app and a number of questions. So if you want to know exactly, so these are the docs. You have like a high-level introduction of how this actually works. Here it is explained what is rebasing. So what I explained before, why the exchange ratio is not 1-to-1, why we chose that. And there is also actually a rebasing version of Celo as a dev that might be useful for you depending on what type of application you want to integrate with. Obviously, all the contracts are described. So we have a couple of important contracts here. The deployments are shown here. So the manager contract, the account contract, which basically, so the manager manages like the whole application. The account essentially keeps track of who owns how many staked Celos and how many Celos do they have a right to get. And then we have these two tokens, the non-rebasing version and the rebasing version of the staked Celo token. And all of these are deployed on mainnet as well as on the AlphaHores testnet. So if you want to test out, you can just use the testnet contracts. And like all the functions and so on are described in these individual sections here. We also have a FAQ with like the standard questions that mostly users ask us. This is also available here in the web app. So that's probably where we would expect users to go. Finally, you might ask yourself, well, who are you guys actually voting for? And that is described here. So essentially what we have done is first, we've created a shortlist of eligible validator groups. So basically we have a set of validator groups. These are basically like miners in Celo who are elected, so active miners, because the people that are not elected, they don't generate any return. So we can only vote for these electable, like the elected validator groups. And now we made a list and we said, well, Celo wants to be decentralized, right? So we basically only take those from the lower 2/3. And we look for some quality, like they shouldn't be slashed, they should be uptime of high percentage, etc. This gives a number of validators, and then we randomly selected a subset of this. And we did this like in a provable way with on-chain randomness. And so you can, if you want, you can like validate that this was actually a random choice. And then we publish the validators that we are voting for. Like we published a whole shortlist and also the validators that we have then elected. Yes. You might also ask yourself, well, how decentralized is everything here? Is that just a multisig which can like take everything away that I own? Yes, there is a multisig, and it can theoretically also take everything away that you own. But there are two important measures. So first of all, it's a 3 out of 5 multisig. Only 2 of the people are at C Labs. 1 person is at the Celo Foundation and 2 people are from the community. So it is somewhat decentralized. And also any change that the multisig pushes to this smart contract has a time window of 7 days until it goes into effect. So you just need to learn about this new push within 4 days to then be able to activate the withdrawal if you don't want to like sell on the open market, but actually withdraw through the web app or the smart contracts. That takes another 3 days, right? So if you learn within the first 4 days and you're not happy with the change, you can still withdraw. So as long as you monitor and you look like a little bit about whether the supply is going down or not, you should be safe. So game theoretically, like it would be very hard for anybody to, just make a rock pull here or a change without anybody noticing. Now, quickly about version 2. So we already know, right? Well, it's not super decentralized, so we are working on decentralizing it even more. And also regarding the validator groups, we are working on enabling us to vote for more validator groups and to also enable people that hold staked Celo to vote on governance proposals. So those are like the big improvements that we are working on at cLabs to make this protocol even more appealing for any type of holder, basically. And the goal here is to make this just the standard way of how you hold Celo, right? Because why would you ever not hold Celo in the staked Celo form? Like, why would you not earn 4%, basically? Okay. I think these are the most important things that I wanted to say. Shall we check whether we have any questions?
Yeah, awesome. So first of all, thank you for taking out the time to explain stCelo. And yeah, we can wait for questions, and people can use the live chat. They're watching the live stream. On the right hand side, you should have a chat mechanism where you can ask questions. Other than that, a question from my side would be: is there a way to wrap Celo to stake Celo without a UI? Is the application only way, or can we do direct smart contract calls and wrap it?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the smart contracts are published, right? So let me share the screen again. Here we go. So, right, I mean, the smart contracts are published here. You could also just like look on the blockchain. And so if you want to know, like if you're a new user and you want to know how to deposit, you can learn about this here where it is described. So here it says, okay, you need to call this manager.deposit contract, setting the parameter message.value to the amount of Celo you want to deposit. And then everything is like happening on its own. So let's find this manager.deposit and set the message value to the amount of Celo. Okay, so here we go. Manager, this is the contract. And now I can write the proxy, right? And somewhere I should be able to connect my MetaMask. Is it already connected? Yes, already connected. Okay. Good. Now message.value. So what was the function that I want to call is message value. Deposit. Okay, it's not described, but if you read, probably you would guess that it is the deposit function.
Right.
And so we write, and let's just check again on the UI, right? So I have 6 and 9. So let's write here. Now I'm not sure. Okay, it worked. Did it pass? Now I'm not sure, like, because I created 2 transactions, whether like everything with the nonce and so on is okay. But yeah, like it went through. So I should have even one less here, right? Oh, now I have one more in the staked Celo, and I have one less here. So here you go.
Great. Awesome. So we don't have questions right now, but we would expect some questions in the comment section, or if you have any doubts and you would ask them in the Discord, feel free to join Celo Discord, feel free to join the Celo forum. And also for the hackathon specific, we have a Discord as well. So you can ask questions there as well.
Yeah, and if you want to like get some more direct contact information, right, just go to the forums, search for staked Celo, and then like in this article, my email and Discord and so on is mentioned.
Great. Awesome.
Perfect.
Okay, great. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Matthew, for the presentation. And yeah, see everyone.
Bye.